All right, good morning, guys. Midweek rebound. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Got a lot of reasons to be a little bit careful here. A lot of breakdowns. Still got moved to the downside on Nasdaq towards that 13,000. So let's see what happens. But good morning. How's everyone doing? Happy Monday. Welcome to another week. Yeah, so this week we got big earnings, right? A lot of earnings. Big tech, mostly. Let's just pull that up, leave it on the screen for a second, because this is going to be important. So this either sort of crushes us or gives us some kind of short-term support, I would say. So here we go. Here's today. Let's move that over. Coca-Cola, Activision pre-market, right? Whirlpool, nothing big today after hours. Tomorrow gets you pretty deep into it. UPS, GE, 3M, PepsiCo, Raytheon, JetBlue Waste Management, DR Horton Home Building. So a lot of stuff there. That 3M PepsiCo, I think, is pretty interesting to see how those did. GE, UPS, that's interesting as well. Then you get some big tech, Microsoft, Google, Alphabet. Then you get Visa, GM, Enphase, Chipotle, Texas Instruments, a lot of really important names. Boeing, Spotify. Not too much here. Humana, ADP, nothing crazy there. And then here it gets even more interesting. Facebook, PayPal, Ford, Qualcomm, Pinterest, Teladoc, Las Vegas Sands, Hertz, Twitter, which has got some news this morning. Twitter getting closer to accepting Elon's bid, it looks like. Caterpillar, Southwest, MasterCard, McDonald's, Merck, Eli Lilly, Altria, Apple, Amazon, Roku, Intel, Robinhood, Gilead. Not sure what that is. Exxon. Then you got some energy stuff over here. ExxonMobil, Chevron, AbbVie, AstraZeneca, Honeywell. So you guys can see this is packed. This is jam packed. You got some tech, you got some energy, you got some XLP, you got some Dow stuff. You got a lot. You got some healthcare, XLV, AbbVie, Teladoc, Gilead, Merck, which is sort of like biotech in a way, but yeah. So that's obviously, I can't tell you what happens here. I'm just showing you what's on the docket, but I cannot tell you. It's either I could see two different scenarios. Either the big guys hold us up, like Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Alphabet, Microsoft, they hold us up, or they open up the floodgates. It's got to be one or the other, I would say. They're probably going to report good earnings. Some of them may miss, sort of like Netflix. But I think most of them are going to do well on earnings. But it's just a matter of how the stock reacts. Just because a stock does well on earnings does not mean that it's going to go up. We've seen that plenty of times. It's a matter of their guidance. It's a matter of what they see in the future. How does they'll talk about how interest rates will affect them. They'll talk about, supply chain. Is it still a problem? That's the important stuff. It's not even how important, how much money they made. It's more important of what's their quarter two guidance, what's their 2022 guidance look like, what's their, what are their potential headwinds for the future. Do they still see large headwinds due to inflation, due to interest rates increasing, due to supply chain? That's more important than, how they did last quarter most of the time. So that's more important than anything. For Facebook, you guys remember Facebook last earnings, right? That was an absolutely that was one of the worst earnings I've ever seen. One of the worst reactions I've ever seen on Facebook. because of their advertising decline. So do they see the same thing? Is Facebook seeing the same thing this quarter? And if it does, that is not going to be good. You guys remember what happened the last time FB had bad earnings for the market. So going to be big. It's going to be big. And I would not swing trade anything that you have serious money in this week because everything is going to affect everything, right? What do I mean by that, right? You may be in Apple and Microsoft will report earnings tomorrow. That will affect Apple. So everything is going to affect everything else. So do I think it's a smart week to enter swing trades with significant size of your portfolio, with full size, with like your normal full size position? I would say to be a little bit cautious on that end, because you might be in Amazon and it goes down because of Apple, or you might be in Facebook and it goes down because of Google, or it's a lot of sympathy moves, and it's a lot of volatility that I don't think you want to expose yourself to, especially in this week. So if you're a scalper, I think this is a good week for you. If you want to try to learn to scalp, I think this is a good week for scalping and being cash by end of day. I think that you will save yourself a lot of stress and potentially save yourself a lot of money by avoiding swing trades through this week. After this week, we get a little bit more clarity on how all the big guys reported, and then we can try to maybe catch a continuation move. So that's my just initial advice for this week. It's going to be important, and let's be careful. Okay, so futures. Of course, economic earnings calendar. We just looked at the earnings calendar. Economic calendar, let's pull that up. Here's economic. So we had earnings. Let's go economic calendar. So today's the 25th. Nothing on the docket today. Interesting. Tomorrow, new home sales. So a lot of real estate stuff tomorrow, which should be interesting. Very excited to see how this real estate information comes out. Home price index. Consumer confidence, home sales, that should be interesting. I like that. Let's see how that does. Pending home sales index, home ownership rate, more real estate coming out on Wednesday. Anyone trying to, yeah, I guess as much as you can, right, Fly Guy? As much as you can. We try to keep as much sanity as possible. And then Friday, you got jobless claims Thursday, normal stuff. And then Friday, you got some pretty big PCE price index, core PCE, employment cost index, consumer spending, personal income, real disposable income. So we're getting a lot on the consumer here. A lot of data on the consumer here on Friday. So we definitely have some stuff here Friday. No Jerome Powell, no Fed. Next Fed is probably, here it is. It's next week. FOMC in May. This is This is the big day right here, guys. May 4th. It's sad that this is the day right before the first practice, or right before the weekend of F1, because I'm really looking forward to this week for Miami. I'm going to Miami for the F1 race, and I have to now have to worry about FOMC statement. 2 days prior. That's unfortunate. What a buzzkill. Either way, it should be fun. But so May 4th, guys. That is May 4th. That is, turn the volume up. You guys turn the volume up. Volume hasn't changed since I've been here. May 4th, FOMC statement. May 4th, that's big. That is big. So, I got a CNBC alert. Let's see what it is. Stocks making biggest moves. Nothing important. All right, so that's economic. Nothing too much this week, but you got that FOMC statement May 4th. That's the big boy. All right. Okay, so we're going to look at a few different names today. Google, really big breakdown on Friday, guys. I don't know if you were watching Google, but really ugly Google on Friday. Just pretty much sold off the entire day. Broke down a huge level and we need to see if that continues today. If the Nasdaq continues, I think Google can continue as well to the downside. You have a huge Amazon level coming up at 2,700. That is something to watch out for. Costco back at 270, really strong pullback. Really strong pullback on Costco back to 270. Going to keep an eye on that today. Sort of keep an eye on the XLP. That's actually very interesting. 2,700, 270, 270, all around the same numbers. And then Microsoft also huge 270 level into earnings. So I'm not I'm not looking to play this Microsoft level, but I just want to give you guys an idea because we do have earnings coming up. So I have no interest in getting involved there. That is not something that I will be doing this earnings season. Maybe I'll allocate like $100 this earnings season to do some small gambling, but yeah, not something that I'm gonna go and put any type of significant money in. So Microsoft 270 level. Facebook hit new lows. Facebook hit new lows for 2022, guys. So new lows, I guess 52-week lows you can call it. Yeah, this is getting a little bit ugly. Yeah, oh yeah, cost, I must have put the wrong number. Yeah, 570. My bad. Yeah, 570. I guess I got caught up in the caught up in the 270 levels. 570 cost, guys. 570. So 570 cost, 270 Microsoft. I'm not sure what happened there. So yeah, 570 cost, 270 Microsoft. Facebook new lows, 2022 lows. PayPal is at COVID lows. Interesting. That's crazy, man. COVID is at the same level as it was in March of 2022. Or sorry, March of 2020. Crazy. Really, really interesting whether this is an opportunity or if this thing is really just not coming back. So I'm not touching it until I see something change, but I just wanted to share it with you guys, show you what this stock's trading at, give you an idea of what it's looking at. Baba, gap fill, could continue today. I didn't see much on the COVID from China, but it looks like you guys are talking about it. So something must have got worse there. Yeah, Beijing kicks off mass testing after spike in COVID cases. Okay. So China, spike in COVID cases. And Baba is getting close to a by the 270 put, yeah, dead. So Baba getting close to the gap fill level. So let's look at that. And then I'm interested this week, does XLE outperform? XLE has been pulling back with the tech market as well. So does energy start to lose it here, or is this just a temporary pullback on energy? And is this the sector that can outperform this week? XLE. That is something that I'll be watching as well. So as always, guys, Monday for me, I talk about it in the chat, talk about it here. Monday is a data collection day, right? That's always my Mondays. My Mondays are looking at the overall market, getting a feel for, not getting too tunnel visioned into single stocks that I'm watching, but more of watching the entire market behavior. So keeping an eye on different sectors, whether that's XLE, XLP, XLV, healthcare, energy, consumer staples, tech. What's strong? Where's the rotation going this week? What's liked? What's hated? Getting a feel for that. Then, moving on from that, what stocks are outperforming? What stocks are underperforming? Where are the levels that I'm watching? So Monday's more of, preparing myself for the week more than anything. I always do that on Mondays because how do you walk in from a weekend and just know exactly what's going to happen? You just can't. So you need to get a little bit of a feel today. We'll try to get we'll try to look at a few names today, get a feel for the market, and then try to just take it from there. Tomorrow is usually where we can lock in on a few more things more accurately. A little bit more difficult to be accurate on a Monday morning. So let's go ahead and take a look at the futures. Yeah, Dad, I see you talking about ZQ. It depends on what month you're looking at. There's different months for the Fed funds futures. It depends what months. The further out, they go up. So Fed funds futures are expecting higher Fed funds rates moving forward. So, like, for example, so let's say August, they're pricing in about 1.8 at the Fed funds. January of 23, it's about two and a quarter, two and three quarters, so 2.75 at the Fed funds for January 23. February 23 is about 2.8. October 22 is about 2.25. So it depends on the futures contract you're looking at for the Fed funds rate, but just know it's going up every month. Every month it's going up. Right now it's about 1.4. No, it's about 0.4. So about 0.4% for April 22. But you got to look at whatever the Fed funds rate is. You can just go to Thinkorswim and look at it, guys. It's very easy. All right, let's get started. Okay, Nasdaq. So, guys, I don't know. I mean, I know some of you have been here. I know maybe some of you are new. But if you watch my videos, if you watch my channel, if you watch my live streams, you know that we talked about this 13,000 level, right? So we broke down our head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulder. We talked about that video. I said, this does not look like it's going to hold up. It's invalidated. And the next level is 13K. So I do believe that you are going to see 13,000, guys, on the NASDAQ. Maybe it's today, maybe it's tomorrow. It's going to hit at some point this week, I think. So I think you should expect more downside. I do not think that the market holds up until you see 13,000. There's really no reason to. There's no support in this area until 13K. So 13K is where I think you see this NASDAQ market pull back to. So that's just about 200 more points. That could hit today. That could hit tomorrow. I'm not sure. But typically, when a market is pulling back, it will have like that magnet towards those key levels. So the next key level for me is here at 13,000. It's the lows of March. The lows of March. So right here, lows of March, I would expect us to come right here. So 13,000, as we talked about, right, from my video, I said if we break this 13.7, it's going to be pretty quick. And you can see it has been very quick. So straight down to 13K is where I think you're heading. I would expect more downside. If you see any sympathy bounces this week, I would look to play them to the downside. Unless it's off the back of some insane earnings that gets us some face-ripping rally, which it's hard for me to see that right now. I would look to play rejections today. If you see any type of morning upside, right? If we go, let's break this down to like the shorter term time frames. Let's say we see some type of let's say we see some type of morning upside, right? Morning bull trap. Let's say it pushes up to around 13.6. Let's say it's some crazy rally today into 13.6. Well, I would look to play that rejection personally, right? That's where I would want to see. I want to be looking at previous levels from the day prior, and I want to see, okay, where can the NASDAQ reject if we push higher, right? Where can the NASDAQ reject if this pushes higher today? Well, first level I'd be looking for is around this 13.4, 13.450. Then I'd be looking at this 13.6, and then really, sort of in this range right here, this 13.3 is another probably high that I could watch here. So I'm more focused on, okay, if we get that morning push, where does it reject? If we get that morning bull trap, where does it start to reject? And where can I take advantage of it? So that's what I'll be looking for today. And then if we go out to the daily chart again, we can see 13,000, right? 13,000, that's the level. If we break 13,000, then I'm looking at these lows here. If we break 13,000, I'm looking at these lows. One low here, previous resistance, 1, 2, and 3. And I would be looking for a test of this level, which is 12,002. So right here, 12,200 would be that next level right here that I would be looking for. In between 13 and 12.2, there's just not quite much to hold you up. So that would sort of be the level that I would be looking for. So 13,000, let's see if it tests today. If you start breaking that, 12.2, which would get pretty ugly, that is another 6% to the downside. Will 13,000 be support? Kasim, I can't answer that question. I think it could be. I think it's definitely a level of interest, so it could definitely be. but that doesn't mean it's for sure. And earnings could be another caveat to this, right? So we still have earnings as a potential caveat. Does earnings, do we fall to 13,000 today, and then does earnings give us a little sympathy bounce? Maybe. Or do we fall to 13,000 and earnings gives us the breakdown to 12.2, right? It could go either way here, and that's why you have to be careful at these levels. The weekly, I was looking at the weekly. The weekly 100 is sort of right here. And you guys can see on the weekly chart, right? You can see that 13,000 level. It's sort of shown itself before, right? You can see sort of support here on the weekly and then support here on the weekly. So 13,000 I think is pretty interesting. So that's definitely one to watch. After that, it's this 12.2. It's going to be this 12.2. So those are the levels to watch on the Nasdaq, guys. To the downside, you have to know those levels. You have to know where we are and the longer term time frames. Downtrend is strong. Weakness is there. I would not trust any little bounce you see today. If you see a little 10-point bounce, guys, do not trust it. You gotta see some serious buying before you get confident to the upside. I would want to see at least a break over this 13.8, maybe even a break over. I mean, this is very unlikely to even happen, but 14.3. That's really the only time I'd get like, okay, maybe this can actually go up. But that is very, very, I don't think that's happening, unfortunately. As much as I would love to see that happen, I don't think that is what we're going to see today. So 13,000, 12.2, weakness. I would be looking to fade any pops you see. We'll see what happens. ES. So the ES came back down to our level 42.65 and is actually breaking it now, right? It's below it this morning, which is a little bit ugly. So after 42.65, what's the next level? It's right here around 41.3. 41.30 is the next level. If we can't hold these lows here, which is around 42.65, right in here, the next level is 41.3, 4,130. So right there, that's the low. I would expect you to come down to this low right here. So that's what I'm watching today on the ES. If we move into, let me go into this. Let me go to the 5-minute. If we move, that's actually very interesting. Look at this. So that 42.65 level that I just showed you guys right here. I'll go ahead and put the ETF is SPY. So you guys see that 42.65 level that I drew out? Let's put a green box there. I want to show you something. So there's a green box there, right? You have previous support. You have some chop, and then look, you have the breakdown here, right? So previous support, and we broke below it. Now look at what happened this morning. If I go to the 5-minute, look at this right here. In the pre-market, look at these rejections, or actually Friday after hours. Look at these rejections. Look at that. Look how perfect you rejected that level, little double top. So today, if you get this, you are not buying calls into this level. You have to be very cautious buying calls into this level. 42.65, this is a big level of supply up here. So be careful as you approach this green box. You got to make sure 42.65, you guys can see this is previous support. You cannot buy calls into a supply zone like that. This is another resistance point right here. If you pop in the 42.65, please do not be the one that gets caught in that. So watch out for that today. I would watch for a fake bounce into that level. Maybe you can sort of, you can fade a move into that supply right here, into 42.65. So that's what I'll be watching. All right, that's the ES. Let's go to the Dow. So the Dow was strong, but it gave it up. It looks like it actually, it gave up that entire little, that was a little nasty trap there for sure. You guys can see right here, look. You had this, I don't know if you guys remember, we had this little flag breakout, a little wedge breakout on the 4-hour chart. I'll go to it on the 4-hour. Dow started to look decently strong, started to get some outperformance. You can see right here, we had this little wedge on the 4-hour. We broke out of it, and look at how nasty this double top was. So nasty double top on the Dow Jones right here. Boom, boom. Huge double top, nasty rejection. If we zoom out, the Dow really, I mean, if we give the Dow the benefit of the doubt, the Dow really has done nothing for almost a year. I mean, seriously, I mean, it has, what is this? This is March. Yeah, it's basically a year now. Wow. So here's a year from today is April 25th. The Dow was trading at almost the exact same level, 10 points off. So the Dow, if we give it the benefit of the doubt, really is holding up pretty well for the entire last year. You guys can see a little bit of downside. It's let's see, it's just about 9% off all-time highs. So I would watch this 33,000 level right here. This looks like a pretty important level to watch. You guys can see previous lows, previous resistance. You sort of had some support come in here back in March and February. So that's where I would look to see if this market moves down to 33,000 on the Dow. But overall, really not a terrible hold on the Dow for the last year. Sort of has just been consolidating. So I would watch 33,000 on the Dow Jones right here. Okay? Russell, this could get nasty on the Russell. So look at this Russell chart. If I zoom out here, look at this Russell chart. If this Russell breaks 1900, which is the support that it's been building for a long period of time now, which is, as soon as CMC posts out, the same level last year will start calling. Yeah. So you can see the Russell was trading sideways since February of 2021 until around February of 2022. Started to break down, right? So a year-long consolidation, a breakdown. Now, what did it do? Look how clean this is, guys. Previous support into resistance, right? Very clean. Now, it is testing the lows of this channel. If this channel breaks, you're going to do a move just like this. You're going to move, you're going to stair-step down to 17, and you're going to start to channel again here. So this is pretty interesting on the Russell. If this breaks down, this 1900, I think you come down to the 17, and then I think you channel again at that 17. Basically just creating stair steps to the downside, right? If you could think of a stair step, right? You step down, you move up, right? You move forward, you step down, you move forward, you step down, right? That's a stair step. So it sort of looks like the Russell is just stair stepping downside now. So move down, consolidation. Next move down would be down to 1700. And then you consolidate between 17 and 19 next. So that's what I'll be watching. If the Russell breaks this 19, guys, small caps are going to get crushed. They're going to get beat up. So watch out for that. Okay. All right. So to sort of summarize the futures for you guys, tech looks the weakest. I would not look for any upside on tech. I would look to fade any moves today. If you see kind of, those fake bounces come in, if you see some kind of really quick upside move, you've got to be careful. I would be very careful early morning. Early morning, we could easily see one of those fake sympathy bounces start to reject and then start to move back to the downside. So if I was watching this market today, I would watch a few different levels for the Nasdaq breakdown. So I would watch all of this. Where was the previous day close? Hold on, let me put that on. Previous close is probably where I'd like to watch. Let me put that on real quick. Okay, so yeah, right in there. That is exactly where. So that's previous close, and you can see how many times the Nasdaq has rejected this previous closing price line this morning in the pre-market. So if I was looking at the Nasdaq this morning, I would look for a pop into this level here, and I would then first see how it reacts. So this is how I would structure my day. I would first do nothing until I see the Nasdaq pop into this level. I wouldn't touch a single thing. If I see the Nasdaq start to reject here, then I get into puts and I play this to the downside. If I see the Nasdaq start to hold this level and move up, then I look for my next levels, right? I look for here, next level of potential resistance. I look for this low from the previous day, and I make sure I'm not getting caught in any type of traps. So first trap, I think the first trap you can watch out for is around this 13,320. Right here at previous day close, 13,320. Right there. I would put that on your charts, guys, and look. And your first line of duty is, how does the Nasdaq react when it moves up to this level today? So that's what I would look for. All right, let's move on. That's the futures. Google. What a day for Google. Holy crap. Really, really ugly on Google, guys. So here's Google. Here's the 5-minute chart. You guys can see the last 2 days. I'm going to take off previous close. Look at the last 2 days on Google. Just straight down. Ugly. That's just about 9% in 2 days. And take a look at this daily chart. This is not good. So daily chart. Look how this is like a knife through hot butter right here. Look at that. Just right through. So to me, this is a lot of momentum to the downside, and I would probably look for more. If the market is weak, if the Nasdaq is weak today, I would look for more here on Google. This is pretty intense volume. This is a knife through hot butter. This is a big breakdown here on Google, guys. So big candle, full-bodied candle, no sympathy, no end of day wick really. So yeah, momentum is strong on this one to the downside. You do have earnings coming up, right? So I wouldn't do any kind of swing trades unless you really want to play through earnings, which I don't think is a good idea. But if I had to look at something to play to the downside today, if the Nasdaq is weak, contingent on the Nasdaq being weak, you have to understand that. If the Nasdaq rallies today for some reason, Google will not go down, right? Google will not go down. But if the weakness continues and if it's just a show like it was on Friday, which was just downside after downside after downside, then it might not be a bad one to just sort of play the sympathy on. But we'll see. Yeah, options are expensive because of earnings. True, Sierra. Yeah, so be careful of that. But that is a pretty ugly move on Google yesterday. So just watch out for this. If you go to the weekly chart, yeah, there is Brandon. I sort of agree with you there, bud. No less support than my childhood. Yeah, I sort of am with you on that. If I go to this, I'm going to show you something that might scare you a little bit. I don't mean to scare you, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. Volume profile on Google is pretty terrifying. I'll show you right now. Yeah, this is a pretty terrifying chart to me. You guys can see, look at the lack of volume here between here and 1500. I mean, there is literally nothing here. That's a little scary to me. These gaps in volume are pretty scary to me. So, yeah, earnings is either going to hold this up. Why all lines are cap lock? Why all lines are cap lock? Not sure what that means, but so 25. Yeah, this is a little bit concerning. This is a little bit concerning. So, yeah, I mean, Google could definitely, yeah. I mean, there's nothing, there's nothing stopping Google from having really good earnings. Absolutely. I mean, you can't disagree with that, Dad. I'm with you on that. But, I'm just sort of showing you the technicals. That's all. Just showing you what's in front of my face. I can't predict what's going to happen. I can't predict, the future. But all I can do is tell you what the chart looks like. And if I had to be honest, the chart as of today, as of 8:34 a.m. on Monday, April 25th, is not the best looking chart. So just something to watch out for. Watch out for this little breakdown. Watch out for this lack of volume here until 1500. If the earnings come out and outperform, great. Sure. I would be happy. So just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Just make sure you're aware of that chart. Insert random dumb comment here. Amazon. Amazon's similar too. I'll go to the volume profile in a second. Let's break down the chart first. So Amazon has this pretty, look at this. It's very, very similar, right? If you can't predict the future, I don't know either, Blink. I'm sorry, brother. So Amazon is also in this little channel for the last year, right? Between this 2850 to 3700 area. And you guys can see we are coming down and testing the lows of this channel. So right here, Amazon, lows of the channel, and we are sitting right at the lows of that channel today. The next level is down here at 2700, guys. So 2700, that's why I had that level on the calendar for us. Amazon 2700, that's the next level to watch out for right there. If that breaks, right? If that breaks, right? It's the same story as Google. Look at this volume profile. If that breaks, there is a lack of volume between 3,000 and 2,000, but we have some levels to watch out for here. 2,700 to 2,000. This 700 point range right here is a little concerning. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little concerning. Pretty large. Look at the void in volume that's being built, right? A lot of volume was built up here. If you break down into this, you should expect to move down to this. So that's sort of how the volume profile works. It shows you how strong these levels are. This area is not strong. The only thing that's, that could hold this up, right, is tech earnings, some kind of, improvement in inflation, something positive for the tech side of things. But if everything sort of continues the way it is, if, let's say, tech earnings are bad, if inflation is not getting better, I can't count out the fact of this stock moving into these levels, right? You can't ignore that. So watch out for this. Just want to make sure everyone's aware of it. I'm not trying to be the doom and gloom guy here, but I just want to make sure we're all educated, right? We have to be educated of what's happening, right? We have to be educated of what is going on in these charts. And right now, you're sitting at some major levels. And a stock like Google flushed through a major level here. So you're getting some knives, right? You're getting some knives, for sure. You're getting some knives. Some hot knives through butter. All right, Costco. Dad, I'm sorry, man. I can't just do everything you ask in the chat. And please, the caps is not going to help. I can't go back and just no, Dad. You can go to your charts, right? Here we go. I don't mean to be rude, but just go to your charts. Go to download Thinkorswim right here. Download the chart. Type in Goog, right here. Goog. Go here. Go to simple moving average. Add the 200, and throw it on there, and that answers your question. So I don't mean to be rude, but you got to sometimes do that for yourself. All right, Costco. Here we go. So Costco, the 270 level. I'm sorry, 570. I don't know why I keep saying 270. This is interesting. I was watching this. I'm not gonna just buy this after two huge. Yeah, Dad? Question mark. Is that you? Is that you, Dad? Two huge red days to the downside. You guys can see here on Costco. But yeah, look at this, right? Did I skip Microsoft? No, it's next. Microsoft's next. Thank you, Hamza. Appreciate you, man. Talk to you in a little bit. Thank you. So you guys can see right here, 570. Interesting level, little retest of all-time highs. Does Costco, is it? It's not my dad. Can Costco hold up at previous all-time highs in this market? I'd be careful of that. I would watch the XLP. The XLP definitely has some more downside to come, right? You can see the XLP could trade back down towards this 78. Maybe a little bit more downside here on XLP to 78. And Costco sort of sitting at that previous all-time high. So 570, just keep an eye on that level today. Let's see what Costco does. If Costco breaks this 570, guys, you might get some more downside here. This might be the end of a pretty astonishing run on Costco. If you break this 570, I think that kills the momentum a little bit and maybe moves us down a little bit further, maybe to like the 530s potentially. This is your next pivot level here. So just watch out here, guys. This could be this. You could play this to the downside too, right? If you see Costco hold under 570 today, which it's already under in the pre-market, if you see Cost sort of reject that 570 and start to break down again today, then there could be some downside here for sure. I mean, you can see. Look at this last few days. So let me go 4 hour. Yeah. So I know Costco is traditionally a very bullish stock in the recent trend, but if it does reject this 570, right, this is definitely something that you could play with a pretty good risk reward to the downside, right? 570. So yeah, watch out for that. Watch out for that. Okay, Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft's got earnings tomorrow, right? It's tomorrow, right? Yeah, tomorrow after hours, Microsoft. Yeah, different market conditions. Definitely. Yeah, you got to always remember market conditions. It's a good point, Zeus. Market conditions are not good right now for any type of, historical big tech bounces, right? When you look at the historicals and, what this has happened, when this has happened, that's happened when, 90% of the time this happens, when that happens, right? We can look at those statistics a lot, but you got to always consider the current market conditions. I think that's a very big thing that people maybe miss out on. Macro side is not good for tech right now. So here we go, 270, Microsoft, huge level here, right? Huge level here. So this is like Google, right? This is the same as Google. You guys see Google? Same thing, exact same thing. What did Google do? It knifed, right? Google knifed. Does Microsoft knife as well? And is it on earnings? I don't know. We'll have to see. But is Microsoft the next knife down below this level? If you start getting knives on all these tech stocks, it's not going to be too pretty, right? Look at Nvidia. Here's your second knife of the tech names. Knife right through, right? Nvidia, Google, very similar charts, knifing through support. Is Microsoft the next one? If I was a betting man, I would say that if Nvidia and Google are doing it, then maybe there's a better chance that Microsoft does as well. But, I'm not going to be the one that just sort of throws a bet down here. So I'll wait for it. I'll wait for earnings to see what happens. But, I'm just sharing with you guys. There's two different charts that look basically the same thing. You guys can see right here. 2,500. 210 on Nvidia. And maybe the next one is 270 on Microsoft. Microsoft volume profile. I mean, everything's going to have a drop-off in volume under these levels, guys, right? I can already tell you, when you see, you can visualize the volume profile here, right, without even pulling it up. I bet you there's a lot of volume in this area, right here, and then it starts to decline as we move lower, right, because there's just no structure here. So let's apply it. Let's take a look, right? Big volume structure here, as we talked about, starts to decline as we move lower, right? Microsoft's not as, Microsoft's a little bit more of a consistent name. So you can see not as much as a just total void in price action. I would say the next level is probably down towards this 250 as it sort of gives up this ridiculous move right here, basically straight up. This was your July, August, September sort of rally here. If I zoom in, you can see whenever there's a big rally, there will be a void in volume, right? Because it's sort of just straight up. Now, when you compare that to something like Google, it's not as terrifying, right? When you compare it to something like Google. But Microsoft, yeah, just a, sort of a drop off in volume under this 270 as expected. You can sort of just use the technicals to see that exact same thing. And so we got to watch out for Microsoft. And if I had to be honest with you guys, if you were my friends, which you are, and I care about people losing money, if someone called me today and said, do I buy this, and if they said any tech stock to my name, if they said any tech stock on the phone, I would say don't touch it, because earnings they're just too much question marks, too much volatility, too much uncertainty, guys, to be putting money in these stocks this week on options trades specifically, short-term options trades. Just do not swing these types of stocks this week. I don't think it's worth your risk. There might be one that you can hit. If you like to gamble, maybe you hit a nice one, but it's just a lot of uncertainty this week. I think you get more certainty by waiting until next week and seeing where these stocks move off of earnings. Okay, Facebook. So let's mark out the COVID lows, because God forbid we might be moving there. 137 is COVID lows on Facebook. And we just broke down new lows from 2022. So we are at new Facebook lows. The previous lows here were, let's get this marked out. The previous lows here, the exact lows, were 184.89. 184.89. Let's put that on the charts. 184.89. Okay, so what do we do with this level today? All right, how do you use this level today? Well, here's how you use it. You go to the 5-minute chart, you zoom in, and you say, okay, if I see Facebook rally into 184.89, 185 today, if I see Facebook rally into that previous low, I am going to be looking to play the rejection, right? That's how you use this level today. You got to use the previous low here on the 4-hour chart. You can see right here, previous low. If you see this level, you put it on your chart, you zoom in on wherever you're trading on, and you use this level as a guide today. So if you see a push into that level today, I would look for where the weakness starts to come in. Does it start to make a double top? Does the volume start to lower? Do we start to get lower highs and lower lows, right? Is this showing me that there's a rejection coming, right? Is the Nasdaq starting to weaken? And if it does, this is your opportunity to play a downside play with a pretty good risk reward, right? Risk, maybe reward, back to the downside. So that's what I'll be looking on FB today. We'll see if we get a push into the previous lows. But, I can't imagine a stock that makes new 2022 lows being a very strong name today. All right. So let's watch out for that. Of course, on top of everything I've already talked about, we have earnings coming up. So we just cannot be too sure on anything for a long period of time, right? Maybe a scalp today, maybe you scalp it tomorrow, but how do you hold it through earnings with any kind of confidence? You just really can't. Okay, PayPal. Just want to share this one with you guys because it just, it basically is sitting at. This is a crazy chart to me. This is one of the crazier ones I've seen. A stock like PayPal, which rallied from 82 to 310 and back to 82, all within what is this? What is this? All within 2 years. So 2 years from 82, 85 to 310, back to 85. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane to me. So, is Facebook a good is PayPal a buy off COVID lows? Is PayPal worth less than it was at the peak panic of COVID? I definitely could make an argument for saying yes to that. I can't lie, guys. I could definitely say, hey, PayPal being valued at where it was during the peak of panic on COVID. It's interesting, right? It makes you think. I'm just sort of, this is just a little forum for us to discuss here. I'm not trying to make any type of, decisions right now, but yeah, I mean, that's an interesting thing to watch out for. This is sort of just a thing for you guys to look into and learn about, but, that's interesting to me. PayPal sitting at COVID lows. Does this stock recover off this level? I would like to see earnings first before I take any action here. It's on the 27th, so that is Wednesday, right? Wednesday earnings. Do we get a reaction off Wednesday earnings? Do we see something positive out of PayPal that is sitting at these lows? I'm very interested by this chart. It's pretty incredible. Look at this thing. It is a pretty incredible chart. And is I don't even want to think about is this what all of these charts end up doing? Right? Is this what every chart ends up doing? I don't know. PayPal is definitely the weakest of all of them. So yeah, keep an eye on PayPal, guys. That is a quite interesting chart, and we'll see what happens on earnings. After earnings, I think we get a little bit more clarity. But PayPal is officially at the lows of March 2020. Mark the day. Baba. What's the support? Oh God, you don't even want to look at. I mean, what's the point of even trying to guess? I mean, maybe here. 75. Yeah, I would say maybe 75 here would be the next level. 75, about 10 points lower. Okay. Next level, just want to show you guys Baba, the gap fill that's sort of occurring. I'm going to pull that up for you real quick to see if you might be able to catch more Baba downside here. There is a gap to be filled back down to 80, guys. So just, do your own due diligence. Do your own, price action analysis intraday. See if it starts to weaken. If it does, just know that you have a gap to $80. You have a gap filled down to $80 on Baba that you could potentially play. You're at 83, so the margin's not quite there anymore. If you did play this earlier this week because you were looking for the gap fill, congratulations. But yeah, you got a daily chart, gap to fill, back to $80. Just wanted to share that with you guys. Make sure you're aware of it. Okay. Lastly here, from me, just want to share with you guys a little bit of a view on the XLE, the energy sector. This is a sector that I think can continue to perform even in a weak market. It has had a pretty nice little slip and is still slipping. So there might be some more... such a big regret following Discord buying PayPal every week. I don't know who's buying PayPal every week. So XLE, I don't own any PayPal. I don't know if you're talking about me or... Yeah, I wouldn't buy PayPal. Guys, please don't buy a stock that's sitting at COVID lows just because it's there. You need to wait for something to happen. So XLE, big downside last 2 days. It's moving down lower this morning, most likely because I think oil is slipping this morning. Yeah, oil's down almost 5% this morning. That's pretty crazy. So oil is also moving to the downside. You can see here on the daily chart on oil, I would expect oil to move probably down to that 95 level. You guys can see right here. This is where it's been holding up pretty consistently. So right here, guys, 95 is where I would be looking to see that pullback. So 95 right here. You guys can see. So support, and then right here, guys. Right there, right? 95. So I would probably look for that 95. I don't know why I pulled up PayPal. And if that oil moved down to 95, then I think we can expect more downside on XLE here, just a little bit. But I still don't think that. I still think this is a sector that can outperform in this market, right? I think the only sector that has the chance of outperforming would be, to me, would be energy. So this is a nice little pullback. We did talk about XLE previously and how it diverges from the 20 SMA. So when it diverges over the 20, you can see you get that pullback, right? You get that convergence, right back to the 20. So you're back at the 20. Maybe you need to test the 50, but I would just sort of keep an eye on where this pullback goes. I would start to see if it starts to hold this 20 or 50 SMA. It's right sort of near that. Yeah, it's sort of at that 50 right now, actually. So you're sort of sitting at the 50 SMA today, right now. So that's what I would look for. Look to see if energy holds this 50 SMA, which is around 74.50. That's what I would look for today, guys. Keep an eye on energy, 74.50 area. See if it holds that area. If it does, and oil starts to hold up at this 95, there could be a little bit of a move on oil off this 95. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it today. As I said earlier, guys, Monday is my data collection day, so I need to get a feel for what's energy going to do. Is energy going to be strong? There's obviously more news about the EU banning Russian oil. I'm not sure any updates on that. I'm not sure if I missed any updates on that. But yeah, I just want to get a feel for how oil and energy looks this week. Okay, let's go over a few of the names that you guys want to look at, and then we got to get out of here. So the first one is Tesla. If you guys could take just 1 second and press the like button, that would be fantastic. Just 1 second, scroll down, press the like button, or exit out of the chat. You press the like button. The like button is if you exit out of the chat. That would be fantastic. That would really help out the stream. Okay, Tesla. Tesla, if it breaks 975, is moving down to 940. I think that's almost a guarantee. So you can see right here, guys, it's pretty obvious, right? If you break this 975, which you almost did this morning, but it looks like it wicked, then you're going to move down to this 945, 940. So here's your two levels, 975 and 940. If you break 975, you're going to slip to 940, right? Dad, you got to stop using caps in the chat, please. So 975, next level. If it breaks that level, I think you slip to 940. Those are my next two levels to watch on Tesla. You got a little bit of a gap here, right here on Tesla between 975 and 940. So watch out for that. But yeah, just see if that level holds today, 975. Twitter. Yeah, I don't know what to say about Twitter, guys. I'm not going to even try to tell you what happens here. This is just a total crapshoot. Best of luck. I salute you. I salute you for trying to guess what happens here. You can take if you guys think it goes up off Elon, you buy calls. You hope for the best. Best of luck. May the odds ever be in your favor. I have nothing to say for Twitter. Square. So Square. Yeah, Square. Square. Could Square be like PayPal? Could Square be like PayPal? They've typically moved together. But yeah, they're not right now. So PayPal is sitting at COVID lows, which is down here at 32. So if Square and PayPal were at the same levels, Square would be trading at 32. Los Franklin, thank you, man. Thank you as always. Always donating to the chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. So Square, if Square was trading where PayPal was trading, it would be at 32, right? But it's not. It's outperforming PayPal. So this is this is pretty interesting. This is a little bit dangerous. This doesn't look very good. This is a really big bear trap, a bear flag. So does Square have more downside if the Nasdaq's weak? Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. If the Nasdaq is weak, Square is absolutely going to move lower. So I would look at 93 and 82. If you break these 82 lows on Square, you are absolutely moving down to this. As ugly as it gets. If the Nasdaq gets really ugly here and you start breaking down all these levels, you are probably going to see this move down towards COVID lows, which would be really astonishing. But yeah, this is that's a really clean bear flag on the daily. Next level is 93, then it's 82, and those are the levels that I would watch. Pepsi, big rejection off Pepsi all-time highs. Look at that rejection. And then you have earnings, guys. I can't, please, if you guys can save your breath this week on this thing, right? Don't put stocks that have earnings, because I just literally can't. I'm not someone here. I don't try to predict what happens on earnings, guys. It's not worth your time. So double top on Pepsi, not a great double top. But you have earnings coming up, guys. What am I going to say here, right? What do I tell you here when earnings are coming up? Best of luck. That's all I can tell you. I do not know what happens on earnings, right? I do not know. No one knows. And buying options through earnings is a terrible, terrible idea. Microsoft, we already did. Lulu. Yeah, Lulu, big pullback. Rejected under all these levels, right? As soon as it broke under 385, that's it, guys. It's no longer a play, right? I remember I was talking about the break and retest. But, this is how the break and retest works. If you break under that retest level, which originally held, the play is over. So it's no longer holding that retest level, which we originally wanted to see it hold. You can see right here, we were talking about this 384 level, 385. We had the retest, right here. We had the retest, and it broke under it. It's gone. It's over. The retest hold is no longer valid. So what's the next level of support here? It looks to me as it is right in this area here, right around this 360. If I go to the daily chart, came here for insider information. Yeah, I wish. 360 is the next level that I would watch on Lulu. You guys can see right there, right? That's that little triple bottom there on Lulu at 360. If it breaks that, then you got pretty extended downside. 330s, 280s. This is a big level right here. 360. Enphase. This has earnings too. Best of luck. SOX. This is semiconductors. So yeah, SOX S. This is short semis. Yeah, if you're short semis, which is probably not a bad idea recently, then maybe you play it. But just be careful. This is just gonna move against basically Nvidia, AMD, Qualcomm. If you're short the semis, then this is how you use it. So yeah, just watch out for this 57. Keep an eye on that. Adobe. Oh, Adobe's getting a little bit aggressive here, isn't it? Yeah, you can play Adobe to the downside potentially if this thing starts to break. The next level support's right here, 385. So this could definitely see 385 Adobe if Nasdaq stays weak. 385. Yeah, I saw that buy. That was a long time ago, Dad G. Dow, the ticker Dow. Yep, you got your big push. You got your rejection. Right here. All right. What do you do at this point? You wait to see where this pulls back, in my opinion. Right? This stock has always pulled back to retest levels. Look at this. We've had this line on the chart for how long? I know whoever asks for this chart is always asking for it, so just remember the analysis we do here. Remember we talked about this retest? Look at what it did. Look how clean that retest is. So, do you buy it now? No. You do not buy it now. You wait for this retest. So you have to wait for the retest on this stock. If you miss it, you have to accept that you missed it. You can't just chase it because it's going up. All right, so what do you do next on a stock like this? You wait for the retest, and then you buy it. You can't just chase it because it went up. So if you missed the original retest, then if you miss this retest, then you got to look for this pullback. All right, guys, it's 9 o'clock. I got to get out of here. Time to go to the chat. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Press the like button. Let's get to 500 likes. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want to join the Discord chat, where we trade live every day, we go over charts all day. We talk as a group, trade as a group. Very professional, very productive group. You guys can check it out down below. The link is in the description. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. It's Monday. Be safe. It's earnings. Don't be dumb. Don't gamble your money away. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.